Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the cold truth with karmic debt numbers. Karmic debt numbers, a lot of you guys will come to me and say, I have this karmic debt. What did I do wrong in a prior lifetime? What happened? How can I fix it now? Why does it feel like I have to go harder than other people? And the truth of the matter is, you do have to go a lot harder than everybody else to get even a fraction of what they have. But the other side to that coin is like the 13/4, for instance, is the richest life path number anyways. So you begin to see that sometimes having that rough start can actually put you in a place where you triumph in the darkness, and that's what you have to adapt to. So 13, 14, 16, and 19 are considered to be karmic debt numbers. Understanding that fully and completely, you understand that if you have them as a birth number, somewhat counts same way. I'll be honest with you guys, it could still count. Life path number, if you have a karmic debt as a 13, 14, 16, or 19 for your life path, you definitely have it. And if you're like me, you have the full-fledged, most powerful version of it, which is the expression number. I have the 14. And that again, 13, 14, 16, or 19. If you have any of those in those three positions, you're screwed. I'm joking, you're not screwed. But it's going to be harder for you to get some stuff done. So the thing about it is this, guys, I've come to this conclusion on the topic. And from talking with other numerologists, my mentor in India, and a few other people, I've now realized that in order for you to succeed with the karmic debt, I'd almost like to call it like a bondage that sort of holds you back from making money, accruing money, saving it, stacking it. It's hard to get ahead when you have these numbers. I agree with you guys completely, especially if you have other karmic numbers like me, like a life path 8. The way you get past it is actually not really focusing on your goals, it's focusing inwards. And what do I mean by that? I mean in the sense of, for me, I like to drink, I used to like to smoke. All of these things were things that I still recreationally do and did. So I had to now take into account, well, when do I have the best luck? When I was at a sales job at a company named OnStar, which in America, you guys will definitely know what that is. We had a call center up here in Canada, so a lot of times you're talking to us Canadians. And what would happen is I was in the sales team. When I ended up getting a gym membership with a friend, we began lifting weights every morning before work. And then I was more so pre-making food at home, not eating out. I was avoiding bars, clubs at this time. I only went to the club because I was into the party promotion business. So I had these party buses that would go to the club as well. But anytime I was even partying was for business. What ended up happening during that year, this was in 2019, my whole life was, for one, going with my life path number, the 8, meaning it was all business. And then two, I was being very disciplined in the sense of what I was eating, consuming as a whole. So meaning no alcohol, even when I was at the club, no alcohol. And there was more happening in respects to discipline. So I wasn't actually outwardly reaching for a goal like I want to make 100,000 on party promotions, or I want to make 10,000 a month in my sales. It was more so about me looking inward and saying I'm not going to do XYZ anymore. So every single day I'd make sure I don't eat unhealthy, make sure I don't drink anything that's a contaminant, that's just a depressive like alcohol, make sure I'm not smoking any weed. And then I was also making sure I wasn't doing things like lying or manipulating or just doing things that are immoral. And what happened was that appeased the 8, Saturn, karmic energy for sure, but it also appeased my 14/5, which likes consistency. At that time, I had a problem with attendance at work as well. School, same thing. I'm horrible with attendance. So I had to make sure at that time that I was very consistent. I said, I'm not going to miss work. So my to-do list, instead of it being these goals to hit, it was actually, I'm not going to do this, that are all bad habits. So my lesson in this for the first half of this video is to tell you guys, whether you're a 13, 14, 16, or 19 in the birth number, life path, or expression or position, the cold, hard truth is the way you have to get rid of the karmic debt is by getting rid of any vice you have. It could be anything from watching things online that you shouldn't. It could be drinking. It could be smoking. It could be lying. It could be a false sense of ego. All of these things can go towards a vice, meaning you're lying to fulfill your ego so people think you're richer than what you are. You're drinking or smoking excessively so people, well, not people, it's just affecting you in a bad way. you're being lethargic or lazy or procrastinating. That's a big one for the 13s especially. All of these things are vices, meaning you like to push things away if you're a 13. You like to have maybe sexual addictions as a 14, maybe lie to the opposite sex as a 16, manipulate as a 19 the authority figures in your life. All of these things are going to come back to bite you, whether you realize it or not in the moment. So what you have to do is actually take into account, how do I live the most moral life possible by being as productive as possible? And you do that by setting up a routine for yourself that doesn't constitute anything that you would consider weakness or a fallacy, in the sense of like doing vices or habits that do not serve your purpose. So it's good to have a purpose and be very goal oriented. It's like the whole message of my channels is to use our numbers and our astrology to then develop a very specific way of attaining our goals. That's pretty much the whole message of my channel, if I'm being completely honest. But there is a very separate way to do this, guys. And the separate way to do it, if you have a karmic debt, is I'd arguably say, if you're having a hard time hitting a goal and it feels like you're not getting the goal, whether it be a monetary amount, moving out, maybe a vehicle, maybe a new phone, whatever it is that your goal is, and it just seems to be like running away from you, instead of like keeping chasing and reaching for the goal, what you actually want to do instead is say, hey, why am I not achieving this goal? And let me, instead of doing things different, let me just stop doing certain things. Meaning, if I'm somebody who goes to the bar on Fridays, stop going to the bar. If I'm somebody who likes to smoke with friends after work, stop smoking with friends. If I'm somebody that says it's okay to miss maybe 1 or 2 days a week at work or school, stop missing any days. Instead, have a no list. Meaning, a no list is like things that you're going to say no to. And do that for 28 days. And for the people that karmic debt numbers are watch this or say my life is hard, I want you to do it for 28 days. Come back to this video, comment, and tell me what exactly happened for you. Meaning, like, what exactly happened in your life? Did it go better? Did it go worse? I want the truth. I'm not going to delete anything. I want you guys to tell me what exactly happened. If you're being honest and you're being consistent, there's no chance in the world that your life hasn't improved drastically. Because karmic debt numbers are just like 8s and master numbers. They're karmic magnets. Meaning, when you do bad things, it makes you have a lot of delays, obstructions, and misfortune. But when you do good things, it's the same as well. You end up having a lot of good things come to you, in the sense of blessings for me. I didn't even finish my OnStar story. Was I becoming the top of my sales division at the time? Did I do that by becoming the top of my sales division as a goal? No. I only did it by accident, I'd arguably say, because I wasn't even cutting out these vices to do that. I was cutting out these vices because I was going to the gym. So one good habit made me cut out all my other vices, and then that led me to making a whole bunch of money. So that's the thing, guys. You can do the very same thing by applying what I'm telling you. You don't need to have some big goal in your head of saying, I got to be a multi-millionaire trading stocks or sport betting or da-da-da-da, all this other stuff we see on Instagram. All you got to do is say, what are my weaknesses? Especially if you're a karmic debt. This go on anybody who's watching this, by the way. Even if you're not, you could still take this advice. This is genuinely good for anybody. But for karmic debts, this advice is going to be on steroids. So if you're able to actually say, you know what? Let me cut out all of my bad habits. Let me actually improve my life drastically and actually just go to war with the weaknesses that I have. See what type of life you can actually develop by just cutting out your weaknesses first. And you only get to leave room for strength and being a triumphant person. All right, guys, so that's my challenge on my karmic debt numbers. Try it, comment, let me know what you think. If you have any questions for me about how to start this, let me know. I'm saying 28 days for a very specific reason. That's the real lunar cycle. They always say, oh, 21 days to build a habit. It's 28 days. We'll go into that later this week as well. It's a whole other video about why 28 days is a very constructive number to use to build habits that are not just for wealth, just for overall well-being. We're going to go over that very soon. But thank you guys so much for your time today. I'll be back very soon. Peace.